Hello there and welcome back to another edition of the Hot Lap Classic Remastered. This time we're taking a look at the 1998 Lancia Y 1.2 16 valve. This car was requested by Inferno the Fox, and you can see why, because it's very strange looking. This is essentially a Fiat Punto underneath, but Lancia went, we're going to make it look better, and this was the result. I don't think it looks better than a Fiat Punto, I will be honest. It's mental looking. This is sort of Lancia's decline era. Admittedly, I love the Y, this particular generation of it anyway, because I think it just looks so bizarre. But, you know, this was the years where you had stuff like the Lancia Thesis, which I saw one of those on holiday in Hungary, and pictures put in your mind that it's a very ugly car, but nothing can prepare you for what that car looks like in person. It is horrendous. Speaking of horrendous, this racing modification, which, yeah, the Lancia Y has a racing modification, which is fantastic, but also one of the options is this, which is the two best factory colours, the purple and a burnt orange put together, and then topped off with the wing from a Delta HF Integrale, just to really put it home. Anyway, it's front engine, front wheel drive, 211 horsepower, 811 kilos, same statistics as the Fiat Punto, but I have a sneaking suspicion this is not going to be a Fiat Punto to drive. Anyways, it is going to get 6 laps of the Motorsports Land track in order to set the best time it possibly can. Our current leader is the Mitsubishi GTO LM Edition, set a time of 27.223. This car is unlikely to beat that. Very. I say statistically it's like the Punto. I think the Punto was a 1.4, this is a 1.2, so I should expect this to be a little bit slower than the Punto. But something tells me, or was telling me, this was going to handle very badly. It actually feels pretty alright at the moment, to be honest, despite the way it looks and all that. But yeah, Lancia's flop era is well documented, of course. We ended up getting a couple of their cars as Chryslers, and they were terrible. We even got the third generation of this, which was like a Fiat 500 with 5 doors, and also the most atrociously ugly face put onto it. Not a good car. Yeah, we never got this generation of Y, which is the same. We also never got Lancia back. The rumour mill currently is we might be getting the new version, well, the new version of this. I'm not going to attempt to say its name, because depending on who you ask, it's either Ypsilon, Epsilon, or Y, and it's just spelt silly either way you look at it. So, I mean, we might be getting that, and I mean, it looks kind of cool. Obviously, it's just a Vauxhall Corsa with a different body on it, but that different body looks kind of interesting, and the interior is cool. I won't buy one, but, you know. And then they're talking up the Delta, like the Delta isn't just going to be a rebodied Peugeot 308, because, let's be honest, it will be. And I mean, you know, to some people they'll be like, oh, you can't do that to Lancia, you know, the Delta's an iconic car and all that. Well, to be fair, the Delta has been sufficiently dragged through the mud for like the last 30 odd years, because it started as like a boxy car with lots of rally pedigree, and then, you know, by the end of the Delta's run it became a rebadged Fiat Bravo. So, but the other important thing to remember with like Lancia's great models like the Delta and stuff is, like, you know, they were just weird anyway. Like, it was supposed to be a luxury, it was supposed to be like a rival to a BMW 3 Series, which a lot of people, Big Car did a fantastic video on the Delta. So it was supposed to be like this luxury like hatchback, and Saab made a version of it as well, because that's a synergy really that was destined to end well. Really weird car. But yeah, speaking of the weird car's done its hot lapping. That is, well, it genuinely does not drive like, how do I explain this? it drives so well you don't think about driving it. Does that make sense? It's a really lovely car to drive this. It is, I mean, you know, as much as I'm saying it's not a Fiat Punto, in truth, it doesn't have the Punto's power, but it definitely feels like the same car underneath. This is a really good car to drive. And like I say, it's so good you don't even think about driving it. So, that's why I can go on a nice little rant. There might even be some more time in there. I definitely think there's a little bit more. But, I'm happy with that. 30.740 places it into 122nd place. Interestingly, it's quicker than the new Beetle, which had like 150 more horsepower than it. It's quicker than the EG Civic, quicker than the Citroen Saxo. So it's right up here with all the good Super Minis. I'm just going to have a quick gander up. I think as far as Super Minis go, the only Super Minis quicker than this are the Fiat Punto GT, which, as we've established, is this car with more power, which means better. And, I mean, the Renault Clio V6, if you count that. Other than that, it's pretty solid. I mean, it's not far off the Spoon Civic Type R. I don't know what it is about these Italian hatchbacks, and unfortunately there's not many of them to really feed this idea, other than the 145 Cloverleaf, which I hope's quick, because I love that car as well. But, I mean, I'm not going to complain the Italian Super Minis are dominating the Super Mini charts in terms of this game, but yeah, I'm happy with that. And I'm happy a car that looks as weird as this does. That's where the weirdness sort of starts and ends with this, other than this being quicker than it has any right to be. You know, the weirdness starts and ends with the way it looks. The way it drives is superb, as all Lancias should be, really. Anyways, that is it for this episode. Thank you all very much for watching. Join me next time when I'll be driving something completely different. Until then, farewell.
Knowing just where my hopes and dreams are going, I'll only you pay. Got up in a wall that you are not part of. Eyes on the slit of your father.